You've been through pain? Good, that means you're not soft. That means you've tasted struggle and you're still standing. Most people quit when it gets tough, but not you. You've come too far to give up now.
You say you have a dream, then act like it. You don't get there by scrolling. You don't get there by chasing 10 things at once. You get there by locking in one goal, one grind, one shot at a time. Every time you choose focus, you get stronger. Every time you say no to distractions, you say yes to your future. The truth is, success don't come to the most talented. It comes to the most locked in. So shut out the noise, block out the doubt, and go all in. Your time is now. Stay focused or stay forgotten.
Discipline is doing what you hate to do, but doing it like you love it.
The greatest things in the world were built by tired people. All right, I know you're tired. I know it's hard. I know you're exhausted. The fucking wonders of the world, guess who they were built by? Exhausted people. The buildings that you admire, guess who they were designed by and built by? People that were tired. Everything great in the world was built by tired motherfuckers. So it doesn't matter if you're tired. You just have to keep going.
Remember all those dreams you had? They all just came crashing down. Newsflash, bro. Motivation doesn't exist. When in reality, all you needed to do was do it anyway. Regardless of how you feel, the job remains the same. So you can sit there waiting on these videos to pop up, hoping that one day your mindset will change. It'll never change, bro. You'll be stuck in the same place. But that falls on nobody except yourself. You either want it bad enough, or you're content with letting it slip away. You choose.
If you want to become champion, you have to sacrifice.
Starting point of great accomplishment is to dream big dreams.
And especially get away from the losers. Get away from the no-hopers. Get away from the negative people, because these people will drag you down as surely as an anchor would drag you down if it was tied to your leg. I say you have to ask yourself this question. Do you want to fulfill your potential as a human being or not? If you want to fulfill your potential as a human being, here's the facts. And I've spoken to thousands of people who've told me that coming to terms with this is one of the hardest things that they ever did. Because sometimes it means that you have to say goodbye to family, say goodbye to friends, say goodbye to relatives, say goodbye to relationships.
Everyone's like, oh, later in life, I want to do this. Later in life, I want to do that. Later in life is turning around, looking in the mirror right now. That's the later in life. And unless that turnaround is something in progression, later in life ain't gonna be anything different. And if you're not doing the now, don't ever expect the later to be the person you want to look in the mirror.
It's really hard to stay motivated when you're not seeing results. It's also the most important time to stay motivated, because if you stop, you'll never get the results. Because in some seasons of life, maintaining is winning.
Your mind will always beg for the easy path. Train it to crave the hard one. The world doesn't reward what's convenient. It rewards what's conquered. Excuses. Everyone has a million. Winners have one answer. Do it anyway. Stop waiting for perfect. Perfect is a lie. Action beats intention every time. Fall, work, rise, repeat. The person you need to become isn't found in shortcuts or saviors. It's forged in the grind. No one's coming to save you. You are the architect of your own greatness. That voice saying you're not ready? Starve it. The past that haunts you? Burn it. Your potential is limitless, but only if you fight for it. Surround yourself with fire, not excuses. Be the anomaly. Be the one who stays when others quit. 1% better every day compounds into inevitability. The urgency you feel, channel it. The pain you fear, weaponize it. Distractions will come. Your discipline is the immovable wall. And when doubt whispers, crush it with belief so fierce it becomes reality. You are limitless. Now prove it.
Who are you? At the core of your soul. And if he can't answer that question, our conversation's over.
I'd rather go too far than not far enough. The only reward that you get from taking it easy is the fact that in the moment, it's easier. But if you want results, and then you basically just catch yourself slacking off and don't do anything about it, then it kind of sounds like you don't really want those results, you know?
If I wanted to, I would beat every one of these guys. Only a coward says that. Don't ever use that line. It's not a strong line. Either do or don't. Don't tell us if you wanted to. Who cares if you wanted to? Go do it. Why don't you do it? Why don't you pursue it? What are you afraid of? What scares you? What do you not want to do? Go light it up. Go pursue it.
I think you become the exception by being the rule.
Why would you not go for it? Why would you not take a chance?
You have to be open-minded to the possibilities that I can do this. Once you shut your mind down to the possibility that it can be achieved, there's no way it can happen.
You and I know what I really am.
This is a hard journey. What you're doing is hard. Most people aren't doing it. In fact, 99% of people are not on the same path as you. That you're on the hardest path possible for your life. And that means that 99%.
I think you can be anything you want to be.
Maybe in your world, Robert. It doesn't really happen that way in mine.
Change your world.
And so whatever reasons that we usually give ourselves in the beginning for why we can't achieve something, you can almost always find not only just someone, but someone who's achieved world-class levels of success with worse conditions than you currently have, which then means it's absolutely possible. And then the only thing that it takes to get there is work.
There's nothing out there for me.
And that's the problem. You hung up your cape and your cow, but you didn't move on. You never went to find a life, to find someone.
Alfred.
You're missing the story, man. Am I happy? What the f do you think? Happiest person in the world. But I'm not done.
It's never too late. Don't listen to these people who want to put you in a box. Don't listen to them. Be you.
99 out of 100, 9 out of 10 people that you interact with on a daily basis are not going to get it. They are not going to understand. They are not going to approve. They're going to be uncomfortable. They're going to hate you a little bit. They're going to talk. They're going to try to convince you to be like them. And you know what you have to do? You have to ignore it all. And you have to keep moving. And you have to remember that those people are those people for a reason, and you're you for a reason.
Legends get scared too. I'm scared right now. But the difference is we do it anyway. And all of you can do that every single day. It's legendary to be afraid and do it anyway. There is no such thing as failure when you try. That's the only way you lose. The way to win is to try.
I did find someone.
I know, and you lost them. But that's all part of living, sir. But you're not living. You're just waiting, hoping for things to go bad again.
There's a payoff for bad eventually. There's a payoff. It can't be bad, but for so long. If you got the strength and the understanding to realize that, it will change. It will change. It's impossible.
It is astounding how many people want to be spectacular in life, but also want to fit in and be normal. Like, by being normal, you are, by definition, aiming for average. Normal people get normal results. Weird people get weird results. You literally can't do what everyone else does and not expect to get what everyone else has. By doing what everyone else does, you guarantee average results.
There is so much power in believing that everything will work out, even when you don't know how or when. You just believe that it will. That kind of belief is not naive. It's power in the purest form. Because once you truly believe it's already yours, you stop chasing. You stop negotiating with fear. Belief is the ultimate filter. It deletes the distractions. It silences the noise. It makes the how irrelevant and keeps you locked in on the why. Most people are anxious because they keep opening the door to thoughts that don't match the life they're building. But when your belief is sharp, everything else falls away. You move different. You speak with less doubt. You stop performing and start becoming. And that's when manifestation kicks in. Not when you write it down once, not when you talk about it, but when the belief is so strong it makes anything else feel laughable. You don't need the perfect plan. You just need conviction. The kind that can walk through the fog like it's already seen the view. Make the belief louder than the fear and let the magic meet you in motion.
You have time, you have family, everything what you have to sacrifice. If you're not ready to sacrifice, you have to sit home. Patience, hard work, sacrifice. Like, without these things, doesn't matter how talented you are. you have to sacrifice everything what you have, you know. Then you can become great champion.
Once you overcome the reflection in the mirror, you've done it. And that's why so many people are lost when I start talking. It wasn't until I changed that mentality that I became somebody. I'm training my mind and my body and my spirit so it's all one, so I can handle what life is gonna throw at me. But if you can get through to doing things that you hate to do, on the other side is greatness. That's life, man.
You will never feel this level of happiness if you don't go for something.
When you pray for rain, you got to deal with the mud too.
What have you learned about how to deal with and overcome fear?
What I look like giving up today when tomorrow might be the day I win.
If you're not feeling that something, that means you set your goals to pass, to succeed at everything you do, which means you're not setting your goals high enough.
The unwillingness to shake from what they believe to be true. And so the thing is that if someone can't disprove why what you think is possible, that you absolutely can hold on to that with white knuckles and say, no, we will figure it out, and you will tell me what obstacles are in the way, and one by one we will dismantle them until all that is left is the goal. And so here's the tough reality that I had to realize, and I used to repeat this self: sometimes other people's dreams have to die in order for yours to live.
In some ways, I wish that I saw the world in less of a complex way. I wish that it was more like easy to me, whatever that even means. It should just be kind of, I wish I didn't think about things as much. I wish I didn't care about things as much. I wish I didn't worry. I wish I didn't have as much anxiety. But guess what? Like, you do. So how are you going to play the cards that you've been dealt? And that's a huge advantage to tons and tons and tons of ways, except for a couple. And the pains are very obvious, and all of the rewards are very hidden. So you need to go through. The only way out is to find them.
Procrastination is a liar. It convinces you that the perfect time is coming, that the clarity will hit tomorrow, that the fear will fade on its own. But nothing changes if you don't. Hit send, make the call, post the content, walk in the room like you belong there. Clarity comes after action. Confidence comes after reps. Stop waiting, make a move, because that's how momentum is built.
Do not be entitled. Earn everything. Choose hard work over handouts, always. Consistent, intentional, hard work should be your default, always. Choose it over handouts. Be self-reliant, skilled, and strong in mind, body, and spirit. No one is coming to steal your problems. No one owes you. No one owns you. You save you.
Fear that's in your head, all the what ifs and the scenarios that you create inside your own mind that are way worse than anything that is actually going to happen, they all disappear when you go. So just take action and start moving forward.
Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life.
People have a hard time understanding that you have to have faith in the actual process. When we break down the overall mission into critical tasks, it sometimes is hard for us to believe that those critical tasks are going to compound and produce the end result that we're after. And so in the beginning, we have to have a little bit of faith and make sure that we keep executing over and over and over again at a daily level. And as that happens, and as you do that enough, you will start to see little glimmers and little sparkles of the outcome that you desire. And what that does is that reinforces the belief that you are on the right track.
You think you're chasing a goal, but the goal is chasing the weak version of you. It's not about what you want. It's about what you're willing to give up to get there. Your excuses, your comfort, your craving for it to be easy. Every step forward is a burial of the quitter, of the complainer, of the one who said, maybe tomorrow. This journey doesn't ask who you are. It asks who you're willing to become.
Just do it anyway. Do it if you have a headache. Do it if you don't feel like it. Do it whenever everybody tells you you can't. Do it when you feel overwhelmed. Do it when you feel underwhelmed. find in your heart what you want. At the end of your life, if you could be known for a few things, what are they? And then do whatever it takes to get there, because here's what I know. I've never met anybody who says, maybe next year, or that's too hard, or I don't feel good today, I'm a little tired, or it's not convenient. I've never met that person, while simultaneously met the happy version of that person. The person who doesn't do it anyway, to me, I don't see full of bliss.
Whenever you have this tendency to procrastinate, program your subconscious mind with this automatic conditioned command: do it now, do it now, do it now. The key to overcoming procrastination is to develop a sense of urgency. Be the kind of person who gets things done quickly. Be the kind of person who launches fast on a task.
Don't be trapped by dogma, which is living with the results of other people's thinking. Don't let the noise of others' opinions drown out your own inner voice. And most important, have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. They somehow already know what you truly want to become. Everything else is secondary.
I know you're tired of waiting, so when is something finally going to change? Imagine your life as an hourglass. Each grain of sand, a moment that you'll never get back. How many grains have fallen while you stood frozen at the edge of your potential? We think safety lives in hesitation, but what if the most dangerous place is the space in between who you are and who you could be? Your future self is watching you right now, and they are wondering if today is the day that you will finally begin. The tragedy here is not failing. It's never knowing what might have actually happened if you just started. And some things, once gone, never return.
You're dealing with ghosts that don't exist. When you start to look in that mirror and you look really, really deep, you start to deal with the ghosts that actually do exist. The ones that you hid away, the ones that you didn't want to deal with. Most people take those ghosts, they try to push them in that closet. And when you start pushing them in that closet, you become farther and farther away from who you are. Those are some of your most powerful tools. And they're just sitting in the closet gathering dust. You have to bring all of you, because you never know what you're going to need in that particular situation.
The worst piece of advice I've ever received is that good things come to those who wait. Good things don't come to those who wait. Good things come to those who act upon what they know through consistency and repetition. That's how good things happen. Things don't just fall on your lap. Blessings come through effort, dedication, and a lot of energy towards your goal and endeavor.
And you can beat 99% of people without being smarter or luckier, but by being willing to endure pain and uncertainty for longer. That's the path up the mountain.
So the work is never about, am I better than you?
Right.
My focus long gone past that. In terms of, when I say better than you, I'm talking about the people that when you're striving to be great, when you're striving to be excellent in what you're doing, don't get caught up in the comparison. Get caught up in doing the work.
Look, we all like pleasure over pain, but I think what we forget sometimes is that there's a greater pleasure that can come with going through a pain. If you go through resistance and you choose resistance at the right times and you go through it, you have greater, more evolved pleasure on the other side of it. Responsibility and freedom, that relationship is really at the core of a lot of this. And the responsibility is the hard work, you know? Freedom's the Saturday. The freedom's what we want. The responsibility is what we need.
There's no losing, only learning. There's no failure, only opportunities. And there's no problems, only solutions. So to me, what failure is the mother of all success. If it wasn't for Michael Jordan getting cut from his 9th grade basketball team, he wouldn't have became Michael Jordan. You know, if it wasn't for Oprah Winfrey and how she got fired because she wasn't good for television. You got people like Walt Disney who got fired, if I'm not mistaken, from a newspaper saying he had no imagination. These are the same people that I got to deal with. Tell me what's not a hit record.
Success is the only revenge. As you expand, they shrink into irrelevance. As you get louder, no one can hear them. You don't beat them, you cast a shadow so big, no one can see them to begin with.
You are limitless, but only if you believe it. Believe so deeply that your presence applies pressure. Believe so fiercely that your discipline becomes contagious. Even in silence, people will feel it. Believe you're the best. Because if you don't, who will? Success is the sweetest revenge. When they said no, you said yes. You got beat down, but you rose because you remembered how it felt and you refused to stay there. The life you want, it's on the other side of who you're willing to become. So start, push, believe, and never let up.
Every man becomes an infinitely more dangerous version of themselves the moment they realize they don't need anyone's approval or permission. Because there's no greater waste of time than defending your actions to people whose life you don't want.
And there's a narrative that we should not criticize ourselves. We should not say the things that we could have done better. But I believe that that voice isn't an insecurity. I think it's a version that wants you to chase your potential.
There's no hacks, bro. It's you against you. You against you. And if you misunderstand that, you have a real problem.
I guess it comes down to a simple choice, really. Get busy living, or get busy dying.
That if you want some kind of a good outcome, you're going to have to work hard for it. and if you don't work hard for something, you're not going to get an outcome that's really worth much.
Louis, a moment of pain is worth a lifetime of glory. Remember that.
If you believe it, if you really believe that you could be something, if you have that little voice in your head saying, hey, you got talent, you could do this, then follow that voice.
When your excuses make you feel a little bit better about the fact that you didn't execute on what you needed to execute on, then they can make you feel better, but they're not helping you. They're not helping you at all.
The biggest risk to your future isn't your competition. It's the distractions you insist on keeping in your life rather than doing the things you know you should be doing but aren't. People delay doing things they don't like for longer than it takes to do them.
Still waiting for a big smile out of you. You're up 2-0. What's the story? Are you not happy, or you're only half happy, or?
Still to be happy about.
You're up 2-0.
Job's not finished. Job finished? I don't think so.
Okay. And I'm telling you from the bottom of my soul, it is so easy to beat people today. They are so soft. They have no work ethic. No one can stick with anything. Everyone's distracted. They're on social media. They're counting their notifications because they can't stick with shit. They can't say no.
You're lazy. You know exactly what to do. Exactly what to do. Because even me, in my state of, I can't read or write, I knew exactly what to do. It just sucks doing it. It sucks to do it.
I'm gonna have setbacks, I know. But if I'm feeling bad, that doesn't mean I'm doing bad. That doesn't mean I am bad. That doesn't mean that I can't still take some action.
Failure, hell, disappointment, discomfort is a great learning tool. And many people don't understand that.
You got to take ownership of what's going on in your life. When you're not where you want to be, and you say it's because the boss doesn't like you, or it's because the girl treated you this way, or the guy did this, like all those things, you got to take ownership of. And if you're blaming all these other external things, you're not going to make any changes, and that's going to be a problem.
Stop waiting for motivation. Stop begging for approval. The world doesn't care how you feel. Winners operate in survival mode. Pressure forges paradise. Weakness, easy times destroy empires. Serious people don't wait for Monday. They act now. Discipline isn't emotion. It's rebellion against your excuses. Set the schedule. Do the work. Crush the resistance. Your feelings lie. Your doubts betray you. But discipline, that's the weapon of the unstoppable. So ask yourself, how bad do you want it? Because if the why isn't strong enough, the how doesn't matter. Get up, fight yourself, win.
Wishing says to your mind, you haven't got a prayer, but you might as well wish. So when you say to the mind, I wish I could, it says, yeah, me too. Get over it.
When other people break and give up and stop, I just don't, right? And it comes down to the story you tell yourself about yourself.
Change is really hard. I don't think people realize how hard it is, because often when they think of change, they think about making positive changes. And so you say to people, well, obviously making that change would improve your life, so why is it so hard to do? And the reason is because, first of all, change is hard because change involves loss. So even though you might be moving to something better, what you do lose is you lose the familiar. You lose your comfort zone. And a lot of us are very worried about going into a place of uncertainty, a place that we haven't been before. So some of us, like sort of human nature, would rather stay in the familiar place, even if the familiar is miserable or unpleasant, than to say, I'm going to risk something and go to this place that makes me really uncomfortable. They can't tolerate the discomfort of the uncertainty.
The things I do in life, most of life, you're alone. You may have a whole support crew around you, but up here, you're alone. Most of the stuff I do, I'm training for those moments. When you start to dive back in the cellar of your mind, and you're pulling out all these tactics, all these mental tactics to get through this, and no one's coming to save you, and you get through that.
You know, I think the real reason you struggle to be consistent and stay disciplined is because subconsciously you think this is still the warm-up. You think this is the part before the game really begins, the part where it's okay to fuck about and waste time because the whistle hasn't blown yet. Well, guess what? The game began the moment you decided you want something better for yourself. The dream, the goal, whatever it is you go to bed thinking about. The game has started. Wake the fuck up.
Number one, dream big dreams. Let your mind float free. All really exceptional men and women dream big dreams. They allow their minds to float. They think of what they could be and what they could do and what they really, really want.
That part of you that feels really broken right now is actually the part of you that is growing the most. It hurts because it's changing.
There's how many doors will you go through or will you break down to get what you want? That is determination. Basically, the goal doesn't change. How you get there, you don't care about. You just care that you get there.
It sounds overplayed, but it doesn't make this any less true. If you want things to change, and you have to start changing the things you're doing. So many of us are stuck in a cycle of complaining about our current situation, desiring change, and knowing that changing, something as small as even just a habit or two, will be the remedy to all of our problems, but never being able to take that first step because it just seems too scary, even when the day-to-day current situation is absolute hell. Is it worth living that out for the next 40, 50, 60 years, or does it make more sense to sacrifice just 1 year?
If I'm running on a treadmill and I get to mile 9 and I get complete cramp in one of my legs, and I know I've told myself I'm going to run 10 kilometers today, he goes, I will have to limp the last mile, even if no one's watching, because I can't let the demons in. And if I let the demons in, they'll show up in the 11th round of a championship fight when there's 50,000 people watching me in the audience. And I know deep in my self-story that I'm the type of person that quits when things get hard because I got off that treadmill at mile 9 when no one was watching. It would modify my self-story. The commitments we keep to ourselves and what we do when no one's watching is the most persuasive evidence that governs everything we then do every day thereafter.
That I was nowhere near that fucking feeling. I was able to put myself there 1,000,000 times every fucking day. And that feeling of like, my God, that is going to feel fucking amazing. That's what made me suffer. That's what allowed the pain to be real and say, this is worth it. I want to feel for this fucking next 18 months. It took me 18 fucking months to finally become a Navy SEAL, to finally, just get through buds. 18 months, it's 6 months. It took me 18. That's what woke me up every fucking morning was, I'm gonna put myself through this much fucking pain and suffering for a few seconds. That's all it is. A few seconds of joy. And it's so fucking worth it, man.
Every single failure you've faced has been preparing you for this moment, teaching you lessons that success never could. Your scars are proof that you're a fighter, not a quitter. And fighters don't stay down when life knocks them flat. Right now, while others are making excuses, you have the chance to make a comeback that will inspire everyone around you. Stop waiting for the perfect moment, because champions are made in the mess.
in the struggle, in the moments when everything seems impossible. Get up, dust yourself off, and show the world what you're really made of. Because your greatest victory is waiting on the other side of your biggest fear.
You weren't born to quit. You were born to rise, fight, and conquer. So get up. Your future is waiting, and it won't wait forever.
Look at how far you've come. You've fought battles before. You've pushed through hard days. So why stop now? This is your life. Every second you waste is a second you could have used to build your future.